It's episode 1252, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And in LA, it's artist-producer mogul, Marty.
Salutations.
Derek is actually in LA this week on business, so he's not able to be with us today. And I want to, before we get rolling, I want to acknowledge, dear listener, the lack of an episode last week. So we recorded one. Marty, Derek, Emily, and I recorded one, and it was great. And we didn't post it because of travel, sicknesses. A lot of things happened that prevented it. So we apologize. We're not going to make a habit of it, but we are back. But basically, here's what you missed. Last week, we talked about that Derek and Marty and I were going to go to Montana the next day for 5 days off the grid, as Derek and I and Jesse and Prop do every year. Jesse wasn't going to be there this year. It was Marty's first trip. So we were talking about that, helping him prep. Now he has been on the trip.
Yeah.
You guys did not help me prep at all.
I know.
Cameron goes, just show up, Emily. He goes, just show up.
Yeah.
Right.
And was that not good advice?
That was not good advice.
What are you
I
talking
didn't bring
about?
anything.
What were you missing that you needed?
Extra socks, extra clothes, extra shirts.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you to pack extra socks.
I have to bring 7 pairs of boxers. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in case, like,
okay.
What were you doing that you needed 7 pairs of boxers
I don't know.
for
I
3
there
days?
for 4 days.
this is how I pack. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, sweat. 1, 2, 3, sweat. That's how I pack. I literally, like, just because I sweat or like we go somewhere. But we were in the water, so once you go in the water, that whole outfit's eliminated. I can't wear these shorts again.
Why? Try them
Because
out.
we went into the rapids. It was incredible, but like they're dirty. They're still dirty. So I just felt, I don't know. I had to go to, like, when I went to the hotel, I washed a pair of pants and then dried them and was sitting on the plane for 6 hours with kind of damp pants.
Did you ever go camping growing up? Because I'm getting the vibe.
Never.
I'm getting that
once.
vibe that this is your
I've
first
never been camping in my entire life.
outdoorsy experience.
I don't want to say all that, not to say, like, I don't want to say that to make you think that that wasn't the most incredible trip of mine. I will never forget. So now we'll keep moving. I'm not trying to downplay that.
But I feel like Cameron's very illuminating that was Marty's feedback, because I feel like there's 2 types of people that go on these trips.
Yeah.
Cameron, you and I are in the same camp. One of the camps is I want to experience Montana. I will be fishing early morning. I will be in the outdoors.
Yes.
I'm going to ride horses. I'm going to shoot guns. I'm going to be exploring the prairie. There's another type that just hangs out and likes not to go anywhere, that likes to just sit around, relax, play cards, and chit-chat. And not really go anywhere. And that type of person can survive on maybe one set of clothing.
But here's the deal, Jesse. This is a dichotomy of your observation. Marty is in our version of Montana, where we just hang out at the house and camp or play cards and just chill. He just changes his outfit 4 times a day. Morning outfit, afternoon outfit, evening outfit. He ran out of outfits chilling at the house.
I go based on mood. I'm sorry. I just know it's like that Seinfeld episode where George Costanza's like, I dress based on the feel, the vibe.
Yeah,
I just do.
See, here's the thing.
This is autumn mist. Yeah.
I'm far too lazy. I'm far too lazy to ever dress cool or get into fashion, because it involves a lot of outfit changes and a lot of updating. I just don't have it in me. It's like, I feel like an 80s dad stuck in, a millennials mindset.
You're in a John Hughes movie.
Yeah, where you know how millennials dads had like 4 outfits and they just there was a hard rotation. Yeah. It was like I'm going to look good for work that day. I'm going to be at the Little League field. I'm going to be doing yard work, or this is me casual. We're having company over. And it was a variation of those 4 that a lot of 80s dads just kept in a tight rotation.
Or like a cartoon character who just wears the same outfit.
Homer Simpson style. I love it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, honestly.
I relate to that.
What are you talking about? That's how you feel. You're a cool artist and you rotated your outfits throughout the day.
It's really hard to look like a dad who doesn't care about his outfit. It's really hard. I'm going to be honest with you. It's hard to do.
I'll be honest. It's very easy. It's very easy.
For me, it's hard, because I'll be wearing a shirt and you're like, oh, yeah, it looks like it's like cool, whatever. But then you don't know it's like a designer shirt, but I have to still fit into the context of a certain
Mar-
type of
Mario-
style.
Wait. You default to like complicated patterns, but you had to like work at having more simple aesthetic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so okay, my aesthetic right now, if anybody knows me, it's very workman work, like outfits. I love carpenter pants, camo. Actually, funny enough, I feel like I look like Brian right now because I pulled out these glasses and I haven't worn them in a long time. But I'm just, gonna look like the Godfather. But I like to have a certain everyday man look. All right. I don't like to look like a rapper. I'm actually doing a freestyle thing for BET with Derek Minor at the end of the week. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I should go to the Carhartt store and get a nice outfit. That's my thought. I don't think like, let me get some overalls, that's my thought.
Can I give you a hint on the key to looking
Drop
like you
some
don't
facts
care?
Please.
This is the key to looking like you don't care about what you're wearing.
Don't care.
Actually not caring. And I stopped doing that on a lot of things in life. And it's pretty great. You know?
But you still look, that makes you cool though. That's the hard part, is that you have the natural cool look, so it makes sense.
You circled back around to being cool.
Because naturally it's what you do.
Just,
look at
it's
the
just
hair coming out the side, the cool black. It's like, shirt's like washed out, kind of black gray. I know what you're doing. It's just you're flying under the radar.
He actually put intention to this outfit. So
can I tell you how much little thought when I had to ride my daughter to school on bikes this morning. I grabbed this shirt literally because it was the closest one to my hand, and realized I didn't take a shower this morning, so I just threw on a hat, and that's why the hair looks like it did. There was no. This was just a demonstration of as little effort as possible.
It's a Virginia Beach thing, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe in college with Cam, you learned from him because he dresses cool too. Everybody dressed cool on that trip.
We didn't go to college together, by the way.
Oh,
we went to the same
cool on that
college.
trip, though.
All right. So aside from the conflicts about outfits,
just show up
and the distress. Just show up. How was the other elements of the trip?
Listen, let me tell you something. And this is for all the listeners. You really need to be intentional, and I'm being serious right now. You need to be intentional with your time and learn how to take a break. I feel like I haven't taken a break in 15 years, and what's funny is that one of the guys mentioned in the beginning, at the end of the event, where he's like, your demeanor changed. Because when I came there, I was probably all stressed out and like thinking about everything. And by the time I left, and I just suggest to anybody, like if you have a church that does like a men's retreat, you should do it. It's the best thing for you. And it's like the church in action. And I loved it. By the end of the trip, I was having a good time. By the end of the trip, one of our guys who was in our group, because first off, Cameron brings like 8 people. Like he has his own gang. Like it's amazing. It's incredible. Like he has his own just like whole table to himself with all. It's amazing. And so one of the guys at the end of it was like singing in the car on the drive home. Like, and I was like, this is somebody who would never do this, but that's how much freedom he got. Where this Doc, our friend, was rapping to me like a bunch of songs when we were leaving, driving in the car. And I was like, wow, like when we came, he was very stiff. And now when he left, he just felt full of freedom. I think that's the most incredible thing. And I highly recommend it.
I missed it this year. I was actually in.
We missed
I know.
you.
Well,
we did miss you.
I was texting with Brian, a couple days prior, but like, no, I was actually in Montana, ironically, while you guys were there. I was just on the other side of the state doing
the big state,
so some work stuff. But no, I'll definitely be back next year. It just, unfortunately, schedule stuff this year didn't shake out, but I was thinking about you guys the entire time.
We thought about you, man. We did. We thought about you because, it's one of those things where we care. And Cameron, honestly, it's funny because Cameron's like a little Brian. Have you noticed that? Like Jesse, like they both have like that strong leadership, like natural leadership ability. So it felt like, honestly, I mean, it was funny because everyone's telling their story, and Cameron, being the interviewer, was asking people like deep, hard questions. No one could escape. No one could just be like, "Hey, I'm fine. I don't want to talk about my life." Cameron would ask like the most intricate question.
No. Little context. It's it's not a therapy thing, but like a dinner. We have dinner together every night, like the whole group, like 20 of us at the table. And Brian likes to do a thing where you just check in with everybody, because a lot of us come back year after year. How are you? And it's a place that like we get to know each other over time. time, and we've gone through some hard seasons together and good seasons. So we just do a check-in. And then Brian even said, but if like, hey, if you're in a tough spot, you don't want to share, it's totally cool. Just defer. And
Cam said that doesn't matter though.
No, for real. We kind of went around the table and one guy said, pass. I don't really want to share tonight. And so I'm like, I just go, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, well, he's just started sharing, because
he started crying.
Yeah, for real.
You Jedi mind tricked him.
I knew it.
Cameron would ask a question. Someone would try to share and be like, let me go quick, right? 3 minutes. And then Cameron would be like, but how did that make you feel? And he would be like,
it's just basic
I don't
follow-up
have
questions.
feelings.
Yeah. Men are weird. Is what we're trying to say is men are weird, And it's like, hey, no, like there's no reason to posture with this group. Like, don't tell us the good version. Don't tell us the short version. Like, we're all in it with you, buddy. Like, what's going on,
Here's a question, though. Did anyone ask Cameron questions, and did he open up?
Yeah.
He did open up. He was straight up. He was the first one.
I was the first one who went, so I kind of set the, hey.
I set the tone because no one really did. I think people, you forget how to share. So, like, he had to set the tone.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Well, I was going to say, because I think it's part of it, I think, is a journalism thing. I notice a lot of times in my friend group, I will be the one who's always asking questions. And my friends know me well enough to know they have to ask questions back. I don't always offer up first. Like I'll spend the whole time asking them questions about their life. And then we'll leave dinner and they'll text me later and be like, wait, so what was going on with you? And
is it a deflection thing? Why do you do that? Do you think it's like deflection? Like you don't
it's really not.
Divert attention away from you?
See what Cameron just did right now? He just nunchucked you.
No, I know.
He just ninja chucked you. And that's like, it's like that joke that Dane Cook tells where he's like, when you're fighting with your girl and she says that one thing that just nunchucks your brain, like you're just like your dad. Like it just like affects you like for like 3 hours. You're like, why am I sad about this?
No, it's really not a deflection because they'll text me and I'll send like a 10-minute long voice note back telling them like what's going on in my life. It's not a deflection thing. It is just like they start talking to me and I just genuinely have more questions and I'm curious and want them to open up. And then it's like, oh, well, the restaurant's closing, so we have to go.
I'm like that, Emily. Like if I hate superficial conversation, but if we can go somewhere and you're actually like opening up, I'm in. I care. Like I care about your story. I care about what you're going through. Tell me more. And so to me, that's all it was. It was like I wasn't trying to pry. It was just like these men, we care about you. So there's nothing that we need to like hide from each other.
I learned Cameron hates small talk. By the way,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I actually disagree with that. I feel like I know Cameron pretty well, and I feel like we can get deep on stuff and talk about personal, professional, all that. Yeah. But I also feel like Cameron's a good small talker, and I feel like if it's the right topics, it's enjoyable. Like that's
the weather and stuff. It's like you don't know somebody, and you're like, oh, so you're from so and so. What? If I had to answer a question of yes, I like the Orlando Magic because I have the hat on. One more time, like I don't care to talk about the weather in Orlando right now.
Because I think you have you said you don't like superficial talk. I think there's you're on record for about 20 years and thousands of hours of shows that it could be openly disputed. Where
no, that's different. We don't talk about the weather on this podcast. We talk about silly stuff, but we go deep in the silly stuff. It's interesting to me.
I'll be honest with you. I like small talk. I don't like getting deep, and that's the difference. Because Cameron would be like asking these deep questions, and I'm trying to keep it. Like when we first got there, this guy was like asking me questions and I was totally deflecting the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Even at one point, somebody was like, hey man, I would love to talk to you. And I told Brian, who's like hosting this event, I was like, I don't want to learn anything here. So I don't want to talk to anybody and get any advice. I'm like a Seinfeld episode, no hugging. I don't want to learn anything. And every day just starts over again. And you can't escape that with community. And
dude. Like but you're right. Like Brian said at the table, this is not about. He said you're allowed to ask questions. You cannot give advice. You can't give answers. Like this is a safe space, and I love that. And that's the tone for me. When I can spot a guy who wants to like, hey, let's talk business. I avoid him like the plague. That is not what this is. Like we're not here to network, dude. We're here to just be people and sit around and fish sometimes. So
yeah.
It was good.
I agree. I actually prefer small talk. I'm entertained by it. That's
like
why
you, Jesse. I don't want to share.
I took a couple plane trips. I got in tons of great convos. Nothing of any substance.
Wait, you talk to people on planes still? You still are doing that?
Again, like I feel like it just happens. I don't openly initiating, but I don't avoid it. You know, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. No, where are you from? All of a sudden, 2 hours have gone by, and you made a new.
Yeah, you're invested in Herbalife because the person sat next to you, and that's happened to me before. I was like, yeah, just email me. I'm like, I'm never gonna respond, but they're really trying.
I try to avoid scams, but they happen.
From time to time.
I do like the small talk where we are like I got my hair done on Friday, and I feel like, I was in the chair for like 2 hours or whatever. And it started off like the annoying small talk, like the weather. And then we had a deeper conversation. It just took a while to get there, but I was like really pulling from her.
If we have a topic, let's talk about that thing. But like talking about the weather is just like, oh, you have kids at home? Yes, I have a kid. You know, who cares? Like, I don't know.
Talking about the weather or somebody's kids. What is the worst? if there's two things I hate discussing, it is the weather and the people that are most important in someone's life. I'm out. I am out.
It is my pride and joy. Yeah.
It's like that episode of I Think You Should Leave. He's like, make sure I don't talk about my son, my kids. He's like, I got you, buddy. I got you. You're not going to be talking about your kids.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of that really quickly, I did see the movie Friendship.
Me too. I saw it too.
Good.
It was so good.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Everyone should go see it. It was very funny.
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. But Marty, I thought you said it was like too dark and like you didn't like it.
No. I liked it. I just said you have to make sure that you're with somebody who gets that dark comedy.
Yeah,
I love dark comedy. Like Cameron, that's why you were like, I love dark comedy, so I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
I feel the same. Like I loved it because it's a dark comedy. And I saw a premiere. The worst part about it, though, is I was the only one in the whole theater that was watching it. But then I thought about it also.
You were the only one in the theater?
Me and my wife, only 2 people in the entire theater.
Oh, mine was packed.
Well, I also went to like a Korean theater. I thought about it afterwards. It had Korean subtitles. So
it did not.
I was like, I swear to God, it's called GSP. It's right by my house.
Subtitles?
It's Korean. And the screens are like on the sides too. So you're seeing it like it's for an action movie, but this like Korean cinema place that's really cool. They have like Korean movies.
I think you went to a scam place. Like,
no, I go there all the time. I love that. I saw the last Marvel movie there. I love it. It's great. But I sent a picture to the guys once. It's like a picture. But that's where I saw it. No one was there. And I was cracking up. My wife thought it was funny, but I was kind of nervous. It's almost like bringing a friend to church where you're like, I don't know how you're going to act when I take you here. And I have to apologize. Like, hey, we don't normally talk about the red blood moons and revival at the end. So that's kind of how I felt. But my wife was like, she loved it. She thought it was hilarious. And because a lot of that humor is like, it's just natural and stuff that we all go through. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
The movie that I went to that had the lowest attendance was the Nicolas Cage Left Behind movie, which I had to see opening weekend for work-related purposes. And I went to a matinee. Ooh. And it was only an elderly couple in the theater. Of course, I sat right next to them. But
well, Jesse, I thought you, me, and Adam went. I thought it was the three of us.
No. I'm pretty sure the Nicolas Cage one, I went.
No, it was Nicolas Cage Left Behind, and we were like cheering throughout it and doing silly commentary because maybe like
this was another Christian movie. A lot of them have blurred together. Yeah, a lot of the. Yeah, I believe we treated the Nicolas Cage Left Behind like opening nights of Snakes on a Plane, which I also remember when Samuel L. And this is a dated reference, so our younger listeners won't get it, but like it was like a live action meme when Samuel L. Jackson said the infamous line that he's tired of these bleeping snakes on bleeping planes. A guy stood up, took his shirt off, and began running up and down the aisles. And
it's like chicken jockey. It's like chicken jockey.
It was like chicken because I saw that. I saw Minecraft with Noah and my son, and it again a bunch of high schoolers just started going bananas, throwing popcorn. It's the whole thing. When
a friend and I saw it was number 6 of Fast and Furious number 6. I don't know which one it was, but it was opening night. Same thing. We went ironically because we didn't have anything to do, and it was the same thing. It was packed, and the second the logo hit, people started screaming and running around and throwing stuff. It was just like everybody was in on it. Everything was in on it. It was great. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious.
I saw the recent the newest Marvel movie, Thunderbolts. I saw that on opening night, and I just loved the crowd. Like, it was so fun. Yeah, everyone's a little rowdy.
I love that. When I went to go see, like, I think it was either The Case for Christ or I still believe. I went with like one of my cousins and my uncle because like there was just nothing. I think it was in Orlando, and we went to one of those like iPick. I don't know if you guys have iPick over there or just anything with a chair that folds up with there's a desk you're sitting at. And my like family members are getting like a flight of beers and stuff. It was like we're seeing the war room and they're getting like 3-4 of different types of beers and like drinking and like and I'm like I don't know. I feel kind of weird doing this right now, so I'm always like
Christian
I
movie
don't think
drinking
that's
games.
the- yeah.
eating ribs like in the middle of like the case for
The
Christ.
passion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's like eating ribs and everyone's like crying and emotional, and my uncle like he's just doing one of those things. It's really bad.
He's getting another pitcher like as
Can I
during
order
the salvation scene.
another one? I think it was actually like a matinee too, and they were giving like it was like bottomless mimosas or something.
No,
and he's
not
like, yeah,
War
I'll take
Room.
another one. Yeah, just pour it in. It was not war. It might have been like I still believe like I think it was a Jeremy Camp movie or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like trying to signal for is it last call during like the salvation
In the
scene?
movie, his dad's an alcoholic, so just add to the situation in a good way. I'll take the flight of IPAs. Thank you.
Keep them coming.
I'll take it says on the menu the Spider-Man sangria. Is that still how they always have like
Yeah. Can I have the
ridiculous
Minion
drink.
Moscow Mule? Thank you. I'll take that.
I still make it a double.
Extra, it comes yellow, or do I have to? Okay, cool, great.
The cup has little overalls on it and little
It's the straw and stuff. And take it home, which is great for the kids, but it had alcohol in it once, so you got to wash it.
While you're watching, I still believe. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, coming up, we have Elevation Rhythm is joining us. They have a new album that just came out. Talked to some of their co-founders. And also at the end of the show, we have One Has to Go. But stay tuned. Right now, up next, it's Relevant Buzz. Not sure what's next after college? Ready to step out of your comfort zone and into something meaningful? Check out the Global Ambassador Program from ELIC. You'll spend 9 months, September to May, on a team of passionate people just like you in Thailand, Tunisia, or Uzbekistan. You'll grow through mentorship, take language classes, immerse yourself in a new culture, and teach English to the local community, all while building real-life skills and making a real impact. Sound good? Head to elic.org/relevant to learn more. Again, that's elic.org/relevant. It's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
All right. Well, as I am fully aware, the NBA Finals kicked off last night with the Indiana Pacers against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's so excited outside of those two small towns. It's going to be good basketball. It's just bad for, there's no Lakers, no prestige.
Yeah, there isn't a big. So, like, who are y'all rooting for?
I'll say this. I love Tyrese Haliburton, and I love Tyrese Haliburton's father, and I am rooting for them to win the championship because I like the way I love the way he plays, which is just him against the world, and he's smiley and smack talking and is like just a throwback basketball player. And I like that his father sits courtside and seems like the biggest trash talker on the planet. And it's great. I fully support it in every possible way. And I'm rooting for the Indiana Pacers.
Did he get kicked out recently too? Like something happened where he had...
It was a self-ban. He took it a little far.
His dad got kicked out or he got kicked out?
The dad got kicked out because after the Pacers beat the Bucks, his dad, who was sitting courtside, went onto the court to talk trash to Giannis Antetokounmpo after he was walking off the court as a loser. Tyrese's dad got in his face. And so it was just, he violated all these rules. Fans is who he is. He's a fan. He can't come onto the court. He can't confront a player.
And you know
so
what?
he got banned for 6 games.
And you know what? I loved it. I thought, you know why? It made it. It's so much more fun to watch than boring, polite fans. It's some lunatic father of a player, confronting an opponent who's walking off the court. It doesn't get any better. It's high drama. These are professional athletes. I think all NBA players' parents should be able to storm the court after games and just confront people randomly.
That's like the Ball family. Like they walked so this guy could run. You know what I'm saying? Like Deion Sanders walked so these guys could run on the court.
Well, LeVar Ball can't walk anymore. He had his foot amputated, but I get what you're saying.
He's doing the Jacob thing where it's a little bit of a limp now, but it's okay. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's doing fine wearing his custom shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Tyrese because that is the entire reason I'm bringing up basketball anyways. Other than being,
and
a
his
massive
father.
fan. And his father. Gotta remember his father.
Haliburton Sr. What an icon. Cameron, time out. Hold on. If Cohen was I've seen you get to that level of confrontation with players, and it's not even your own flesh and blood.
Well,
you better believe if Cohen was out there, your smack talk, it was already at
his smack talk is pretty good.
It's probably top 10 NBA fan live. Like these guys remember.
Even to not NBA, he was killing people at this event. Like people were like, they didn't know how to respond. They just felt like bad about themselves. They would just disappear like Jesus in the crowd. We're all murmuring. He would just slip through the crowd.
If Cohen was on the Orlando Magic and just dismantled the best player in the league,
it's no question. I wouldn't be banned for 6 games. Let's just put it that way.
I think you would be banned for life.
Many more than that.
This is why I support it. I think
I've been kicked out of an NBA game and stuff. And then my team actually had to meet with the NBA to prevent me from getting banned because I was getting tossed. I got tossed by a ref, and then there's a rule that you're suspended for at least 3 games after getting tossed by a ref. And the Magic had meetings with the NBA advocating for me that I shouldn't be banned, and I wasn't banned. But
Cameron, I'm surprised you're not rooting for the Pacers for the exact same reason I am. To support this level of fan passion.
I'm rooting for the Pacers for one reason only. I cannot stand Oklahoma City, and I couldn't ever put my finger on why I don't like this team. Statistically, I should love this team.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted, the Oklahoma City players just look weird to me. And that was the entirety of the tweet. And that's it. They're all kind of weird, and they're all kind of like posers, and they're all kind of goofy, and not in a good goofy. They're all just a bunch of dorks. It's like, I don't want to cheer for dorks. Give me Tyrese.
I hate them because of that American Express commercial where they're all wearing
the 3 blue suits thing.
It's a terrible fit.
It's AT&T, by the way, so that's how good.
Whatever it is, it's a terrible fit. It's a terrible commercial. It's super cringe.
They're a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, and you wouldn't see Tyrese and his dad doing that. Okay,
never.
I don't know that he has sponsors. He's not that popular, but he's not doing that cringe.
It's cringe. They are cringe. Their post-game interviews, everything about them is cringe. And I'm like, I get that they're young and goofy and having fun, and I should enjoy this, but they're a bunch of dorks. Give me Oklahoma, give me Indiana all day long.
Chet Holmgren just did a segment with GQ. I don't know if you saw it was going around.
What are your 6 favorite books?
Yeah, where he brought it. And I'll say this actually made me like him more and respect him because he's not like
Emily,
all
did
6
you see
of his
this? Tell the story.
Yeah.
Emily, you did see it? Okay.
I did, but for others who haven't seen it, we should tell
all
them.
6 of the books that he brought that are his favorite books and most impactful books were coffee table books. And most of them were about shoes. And like sneaker books.
He literally was like going through it and he's like, well, see, I don't like reading a lot of words, so I like these books because they have pictures. He literally said that. And I'm like, oh, you're just dumb.
He brought Berenstein Bears.
I don't even think it's dumb. I think it's honest. I think a lot of people, not just NBA players, would, if they were real with themselves, they're thumbing through coffee table books at night, not War and Peace. Because here's the thing about LeBron. LeBron likes to project like he's a big reader.
Yeah,
and
first page reader, baby.
Yeah, there's this meme, and it's every time LeBron is reading a book, he's on the first page, and he's just in the locker room like reading, Michael Chabon or
biography of Malcolm X, and they're like, "Tell us about him." And he's like, he's like looking at the book.
I can't even start.
He's like looking at the back of it. Well, he was a man that he lived.
He's got like a Colson Whitehead book, but it's 2 pages in. Yeah.
I feel like if you look in between LeBron's books, because his hands are so big, we don't have like a good scale. You'll probably see a comic book lined in the book because he's not even really.
Or an iPad.
Yeah, an iPad or Kindle or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, one NBA player who we do know is reading the good book is Tyrese Haliburton. We're going to circle all the way back around.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm actually proud of that one.
That was a good one.
In actually an interview with GQ recently where he was talking about the 10 things he can't live without, the very first thing Tyrese brought up was his Bible. We're actually just going to play the clip so you can hear what he had to say about it.
So my first essential would be the Bible. Over the last 2 years, my religion has become very important in my life. Just understanding that I'm made in the image of God, and in a world where, you know, you have a bad game and they're killing you on social media, or, you know, confidence goes up and down, I can always come right here. This is like my peace. Just understand that I'm made in his image and he's the only one who can really judge me. Growing up, like the verse that everybody got tattooed on was Philippians 4:13. I can do all through Christ who strengthens me. And I always believed in that, but I never read the Bible, so it's been important to me the last 2 years. I ain't go to church or nothing like that growing up, so when I got to the NBA, they do chapel before every game. So when 60's on the clock, there's always a meeting where both teams, coaches, everybody's welcome to come in and do like a 15-minute service. Harrison Barnes was my vet, and so I used to always go with him. And then when I got traded, just started going with Buddy, and now Buddy's gone, so it's really just me most of the time, and it's been really good for me.
Well, good. I like it.
There we go. So maybe he is reading the storybook Bible, but it at least is a real book that we can confirm it.
Hey, don't knock on Tyrese Haliburton. You knock on Oklahoma City players, not Tyrese.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
my bad.
By the way, I am not knocking on Chet Holmgren. I respected the heck out of that. I thought it was very cool.
You respected the honesty of his stupidity. I get it. Okay.
It's not
I
even.
do wish it was like pop-up books. That would have been fun.
That would have been amazing.
Listen, who am I to judge? He's a multi-billionaire 23-year-old that's, you know, seems to have, you know, he's got a lot going.
Who has terrible fashion choice. He's a goofball and can't read. But yeah, let's look up to him.
Well, you know, he's developed. I'll tell this. Let me say this too. The other thing I'm a big fan of is the long two. It's gone out of fashion in the NBA. Chet Holmgren's bringing back the long two, and I kind of like that. You know,
wait, I don't know what that means.
So there's jump shots, you know, there's layups, dunks,
Yes.
and then you go, they have mid-range. So it's like halfway between the rim and the three-point line. And then they have three-point shots. Well, statistically, the NBA is getting better every year. They're learning more about the game and analytics and stuff. And they found that statistically, those two-pointers that were farther out, but not quite to the three-point line, those are the worst shots in basketball because they're the lowest percentage to go in, but they only count as 2 points. Step a foot further back, and then at least it's worth 3 points, right? Mm-hmm. So it basically evaporated from the game because they're not coached to take those shots. Chet Holmgren is single-handedly playing terrible basketball and doing a good job at it.
I'm on record. I'm a long two guy. Sorry.
Jesse goes,
I like the long two.
On the long two, instead of, you know, Kobe or a Steph would be like a three-pointer, Emily.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're one step in front, Holmgren, you know, you yell
Holmgren when you shoot it.
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
That's it. I like guys that just do the statistically improbable thing and
without apology.
But watch, the game's going to evolve, and there's going to be a lot of long twos.
You know why he's doing it? He's not reading the game plan that was given to him because he can't read. There's no pictures.
He's
in the NBA Finals. He seems to be doing okay. That's all I'm saying, Chet. Good for you, man. Keep doing you. It's working. It's working.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, moving on. I've got some interesting sort of dystopian news for y'all. We have officially reached the point where people prefer talking to ChatGPT over their actual therapist. This is according to a new study that had 830 participants go through simulated therapy sessions. Half got advice from a licensed therapist. The other half got ChatGPT. And then they rated how helpful, empathetic, and culturally sensitive their counselor was. And overall, people prefer the chatbot.
So is it because the chatbot told them what they wanted to hear, or it was actually literally better analysis and advice?
Well, so people said they felt like ChatGPT understood them better as a real human. And that was because the scientists kind of figured out the AI responses were longer, more detailed, had more emotion-heavy language, which made participants feel more seen, even if it wasn't really offering much in-depth analysis.
I find that interesting. I have a beef with Chat GPT. Can I demonstrate? So the other day, you know, the new Final Destination movie came out. I grew up going to all the Final Destination movies. And for people who aren't familiar with the franchise, basically it's several scenes of like this Rube Goldberg machine of death, right? Have you guys seen Final Destination films?
Of course.
No. I think I've seen one.
I have it all. I have the complete box set.
So people get killed by this invisible force in extremely elaborate ways. Like the setup for a scene will be like people jumping on a rickety trampoline. There's a rake and a running lawnmower. And it is going to go very badly, but it's a wild chain of events, right? And so I was rewatching some of the elaborate, they're
A compilation
to the point
on YouTube?
where they're like comical at this point of how elaborate these are. And so I was like, you know what they haven't ever done is a fishing pier scene, because a lot of hooks flying around. We could have a shark. I thought, and then we could have like a boat motor out there. There's a lot of ways here.
That's a good one.
And so I typed into ChatGPT the other day. I said,
"Stop working after this."
No, I said, this is for real. I was like, create a Final Destination death scene involving a fishing pier, a shark, and a nearby boat. Okay. And I punched in, and no lie, it gave me the whole scene. So I started reading it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really good. It started with a lifeguard who survived the last movie. There's always one survivor, and from the previous movie. And it was setting the whole scene. And as I'm reading, and it's getting good, okay? I mean, people are chumming the water. There's hooks flying around. This is going to be an all-timer. As I'm reading this, it goes blank and says, this prompt violates ChatGPT's terms of use. What the heck? Like, why even serve me it? Why tease me like that? And what about it was a violation? It could
because you used IP. You used a copyrighted IP, probably.
Oh, I thought it was because it was going to be describing murder.
Me too. I thought there was
not
murder.
Okay. Not murder. This is death. This is a natural cause, basically.
I'm guessing it's more of a copyright violation issue than it is
they don't care about that
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, now I'll never know. I will never know.
How will it end up? Let me tell
imagination.
you. Here, I'll cut to the chase. Everybody dies. There you go. That's how it ended
You have
up.
to put style. You can't even say make a Final Destination. You have to say make a Final Destination style. That's the only way to get around that.
Listeners try it on their own and screenshot quickly before it disappears. That was my problem. I didn't screenshot it.
So you're worried that in therapy it's going to do that too? It's going to violate a bunch of
they're going to be like, you're going to ask, how bad would you feel for that? You're talking about some really deep stuff, and they're like, oh man, well, let's dig into this. And they're like, actually, this violates the terms of use. This is too dark.
You got too dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting though that from our experience, it's like, ooh, I don't like this, right? Human therapy has got to be better than machine algorithm stuff. But like, if you really think about it, whether it's therapy or doctors, health, your doctor has only the training and knowledge that he has obtained. AI has all of the health information that's available in every study ever. And so for diagnoses or being able to identify what that weird thing is in the scan, like AI actually would be better than a human doctor. And in fact, Tony Blair said last week, get ready for the AI telehealth era, because it's going to be so much better for the health of Britain, blah blah blah, and more cost effective. So, and I saw somebody say something like 90% of doctor jobs will be eliminated in the next decade, because instead of having a doctor's office with 10 practitioners, they'll have one practitioner using 10 AI models serving the same number of people. Wow. So it's just going to be fewer doctors will be needed. I'm thinking, but the same thing will probably happen with therapy. I mean, like, you have all the therapy insight available to it versus just the knowledge of this one therapist. I mean, there's a reason why, like, I've been to several different therapists over the years, and it's like, one was a good fit, one wasn't a good fit. She didn't get really what I needed. He did, that kind of thing. And it's like, I could see that AI could be superior eventually. I don't know, depending on what type of therapy you're needing.
I think that's the key, is what kind of therapy you need, because it's all based on what you're putting in. So it's like, if I'm describing the symptoms I'm aware of, it's going to give me a diagnosis or maybe a mental health plan that I should be following. But a licensed therapist who's gone through 400 hours of counsel, like,
go deeper, ask
they can go deeper.
Question.
They know what you're not, like,
they know when you're
able
BSing them.
Yeah. They know kind of the things that you're not aware of, and they can help you with that.
True.
And I also think, again, this is good for something like maybe couples counseling, or maybe like general anxiety. But there are other people who have, someone who's like bipolar, like, they do not need to be going to AI. They need to be going
Correct.
to a human who can actually ask them questions, see more progress, things like that.
But
And
if
to
somebody's
be-
saying I'm struggling with depression, what can I do, or what? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, it could be helpful with tips and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You know what medical field's really going to revolutionize is patient first. Okay. Like I was listening to a comedian the other day. He's like, when you go to patient first, the doctor's basically like, all right, let's see if we can figure this out together. Like patient first doctors they're popping in room to room, kind of pulling back the curtain. You're just another ankle sprain, right? Like they're cycling through. You get some AI in there and you're really cooking. And I'll be honest, I would much rather have my patient first doctor be assisted by AI because you're only in the patient first if it's really bad and you got something right now. And you can tell they're half paying attention, right? They're looking at the clipboard, that little screen that rotates on the little lazy Susan. They're not making eye contact, okay? Give them AI, and I'm leaving there with a lot more confidence because otherwise, it's just for real.
Well,
and
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a tool that the doctor would use, as opposed to it just being whatever the doctor knows is, whatever. I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. Like general practice, I think they're still going to be personal, right? These are the people you come to. But like that kind of fast turnaround medical stuff, give them AI, and it's a much better experience.
Right. There you go. All right. So people are saying AI therapy is getting good.
Yeah.
Huh?
And to be clear, the researchers are not saying that you should just stop going to a human therapist. They're just saying.
Right. They're just researching and reporting what they've learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the very last thing. I want to talk about how The Chosen announced some really big news this week. They are headed back to the big screen, but not in the way that we've normally seen them. For their season 6 finale, which will premiere in 2027, the final episode is actually being released as a theatrical feature-length film. So
is that the crucifixion?
That is the crucifixion of Jesus. Yes.
Little competition.
So season 6 is waiting 2 years. Are we turning into like Star Wars now? They're going 2 years
We
in
are.
between.
Wow.
Yeah.
Passion of Christ is coming out that same year, right? So it's like competition.
Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Passion of the Christ's been coming out for the last 5 years. So.
Well, they're supposedly shooting it this fall. So if they shoot it this fall, they'll be in post next year.
Yeah.
They'll come out in 27, probably for Easter.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But
wouldn't it be funny if they're out the exact same time?
That's what I was thinking.
You got to
What if
think
it
they're
happens
coming out
like
for
that?
Easter too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to choose who you like.
Which one has the most unlimited margarita?
Or double feature.
Yeah, it will be a double feature because you can watch the crucifixion of Jesus from The Chosen and then watch Mel Gibson's interpretation of the resurrection.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the whole thing is like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This is going to end with the crucifixion. And then you go watch Mel Gibson's, which is the next 3 days.
Yes.
And he goes into all the weird metaverse stuff and all that. Yeah.
It'll be like Barbenheimer, like Easter Barbenheimer.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we've got that to look forward to in 2027. And then the year after that, when they kick off season 7, that will be another theatrical release. And then the rest of the season.
I was trying to combine Chosen and Passion, but it's just Chosen or Passion.
Chosen Passion.
Are there
But
any
if it's
actors
one
who can be
word,
both?
Yeah. Oh, if it's one word,
It would be
Chashin.
Chashin.
The Chashin of Christ. Yeah, I don't like that.
Chashin weekend. That's our Barbenheimer, Chashin.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue in the same way. We've got 2 years to workshop it, though. I think we can figure something out.
Choshin.
It sounds like you're choking.
I'd like a double feature, please. The Choshin.
Which one has Ryan Reynolds in it? That's what I'm gonna just say.
Which one has the free
Bradley
Minion
Cooper?
cups with?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like. Oh man,
Is there a Final Destination popcorn bin? All these movies in California, they have custom popcorn bins.
Of course, yeah, all of them.
So I wonder if it's like a, like Jesse, it's like a train set with like the popcorns on the inside.
Yeah,
but, it slaps you in the face. I don't know.
It's I'm heading over. The Passion's about to start. Passion 2. Waiter, can I get one of these Top Gun Tito's, please?
Tito's and
Can I get the mozzarella sticks that look like wood, pieces of wood trees in it, and so they just come out and the mozzarella, the sauce, the marinara's blood. I know how we've done this before. I know what's going on.
You really stuck on the mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, because you know what? In the movie, they're driving and there's a piece of like a log that shoots out the back of a
That is
truck.
the one I've seen.
So that's the mozzarella stick, right? And then the front where the driver is, it'll just be like you dip your marinara. If it's like blood, to me it makes sense to me. I don't know why they're not doing that.
Wow, this marketing strategy is crazy.
They're gonna steal it.
I saw the most impactful movie, and I had that Top Gun Tito's and the Rocky Balboa Philly cheesesteak, and wow.
Well, you're watching the Choshin. Yeah. All right. That'll do it for Relevant Buzz. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day, where we are covering stories like that, the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks, Emily. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Elevation Rhythm joins us. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's Soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Well, our guest today is Elevation Rhythm. They're the next generation of worshipers out of Elevation Church who just wrapped up an exciting tour opening for Forrest Frank. We sat down with one of the group's co-founders, Josh Holiday, to talk about their brand new album called Victory Lap and discuss how the church can get better at truly celebrating the good news. Here's our conversation with Josh Holiday from Elevation Rhythm.
Well, you just wrapped up opening for Forrest Frank on his arena tour. What was that experience like?
It was insane. It's so insane we've worked with Forrest for a while now. It's probably been, I think we first worked with him maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, when we did the Praises remix with him. And so just to see his growth and his impact and how God's using him, it's kind of like, it just blows our mind. I know it blows his mind. I think he's in awe. But like, just to kind of get like a front row seat at what God's doing in his life, and how he's using his music. And I think what's beautiful about it is it's multi-generational. And so you're seeing a 6-year-old and then you're seeing like a 60-year-old. And I think that is just beautiful. And I think that God used that tour to heal families and to bring like unity to families, but also it's also great to see kids have their first concerts. There were he would ask people at in the concert, hey, whose first concert is this? And to hear like a huge chunk of the room. And so it's also wild to think about our first concerts and to think about what we first went to. And so to know that like, oh, these are like these kids' first concert. And it's, what a beautiful thing that it's Christian. What a beautiful thing that it points to Jesus. It doesn't point to any of us. Like it's not like nothing about the tour. We pointed people to us. I think that the whole tour was so pointed towards Jesus, towards the cross, that I think that to know that was the mission, and it came from the top down. It came from Forrest. Like that's what he wanted it to be. And we were completely bought into that, and we were completely in support of that. And so it was an honor to support him on that tour.
And now you're home and you're focusing on the release of your brand new album, Victory Lap. I'm really glad we're getting to chat about it because I've been very curious about the title since you announced it. How does a victory lap represent these songs?
So the title actually came first. It was a feeling, I guess you could say, more than anything else, that I was trying to chase. And I was just inspired by the fact of, we started with Goodbye Yesterday. It was like our first song, and maybe that really captured that feeling. But you know, like it's the victory's already been won. Like Jesus already won. And so like, it's this thought that we had of like, we get to actually run a lap, because the lap of victory comes after you've already won. And so like, we don't have to actually win the fight. We actually get to run the lap because Jesus, our King, already won the fight. And so what does it sound like to just celebrate a battle that's already been won? Like that's what this album's supposed to feel like. It's like we're celebrating the victory that's already been won. And so the key is for us is to believe that and fight from that and use that as like our fuel. Like we don't look for victory in our fights. We use the victory to fight our fights. Like it's like he already did. And so it's like we almost flip victory when it's like, oh no, this is actually our source that we use to go through life as. It's like, oh, he already has it. And I think the enemy can't rewrite history. So he can't tell us that Jesus didn't win. But what he can do is he can try to show us that we don't have access to that victory, or he tries to prevent us from living in that and using that victory that Jesus gives us. And so that's what we see with our youth, of really just helping them understand that aspect of it. And so every song that was written, it was kind of birthed out of that place.
Your promises were proven in blood. You said it was done, and that's more than...
That's an interesting idea to be wrestling with. What was going on in your life or in the life of Elevation when y'all started working on this project?
We felt like, I guess, as far as our ministry goes, or our church and our youths, I felt like we had these altar calls, and we're having like these moments where, like, I just kept thinking to myself, it doesn't matter what we do in these moments. If these kids pick up the very much thing that they brought in, if they leave, go back home, and the thing that they still brought in carrying, if they don't let it go, then like the devil's not afraid of us, of church, because he's like, well, they still left that church building with the same thing that they were carrying. And so I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, man, we really want them to walk out with something different. Like, what is the thing that we want them to walk out with? And it's like, we want them to walk out with freedom and all this. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, well, we're asking them, like, at the altar, it's like, come and that beautiful exchange that happens at the altar. It's like, there actually has to be something for them to pick up, and we're asking them to come and lay down all these things, because let's be honest, like, anxiety and these things, like, that's an actual comforting drug for this generation. Like, it's actually something that they don't voluntarily let go of. They actually have found so much comfort in these things. And so it's like, we've learned, and through our e-groups and stuff like that, we've learned these things that we think are like struggles, they're actually addicting, and they're actually like comforting to people. And so it's like, we have to not just address it, but we actually have to give them the truth, or like the thing that they should swap it out with. Like, hey, there's an exchange that happens. He takes that, but he also gives you this. And we need to give language around what that exchange is and what you're walking out with in replacement of the thing that you carried in.
I shouldn't even be here, but I've been breathing. It's all because of Jesus.
You know, victory can look like a lot of different things to different people. How did you decide where you wanted to take a song?
I guess I always bring these two up because this is what started. Like, At the Altar and Goodbye Yesterday are two different songs, but they both have a victorious sentiment to them, where Goodbye Yesterday, dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Like, it doesn't get much more like stomping on the devil's head than that. And he didn't win, but also At the Altar, victory looks like submission. It looks like, and then some of these songs, victory, we learn, like, victory looks like faithfulness when you don't know what, like, it's not as clear today. It's like sometimes having victory is just being faithful in something and sticking in it. Also, victory looks like getting back up after you've been falling. Like, even going back to Goodbye, it says again and again and again and again. Like, we kind of like want to make sure we know. It's like, oh no, victory looks like getting back up again and again and again and again. And so, learning like what that feels like is like, oh, it's not always going to be happy, triumphant. Like, this should be victorious. It's like, that's not all victory is. Like, it's actually like, it's more layers to that. And I think we don't have a song called Victory Lap on the album, but I just kind of want to figure out every angle of what it looks like to walk in victory.
What was it like creating this album versus your previous projects?
Ooh, every album has been different because it felt like there was a heart behind each one. Like, we're not the team that just makes an album that's just a collection of random songs. Like, and so this album, we went through a unique fasting season before we recorded it. We went through a unique, like, our Devo time every day, like all that kind of stuff. It almost like, it felt like, I mean, we did the same thing with This Is the Gospel. Like, we went through a sort of like spiritual journey as a community, because obviously our whole team doesn't write the music, but one thing that we want to make sure that always we do is like to make sure that like they understand the weight of where the lyrics come from or why we even so they can minister them wholeheartedly. We always go through just like a season of really sitting with the message and the theme and unpacking scripture around it all. And so there are just certain moments that were like breakthrough moments with our team, just thinking about, like you were saying earlier, like, oh, I never thought about victory that way. And it was one of the coolest moments, like we were taking communion, and it was like, and I literally said, I was like, guys, this is a victory meal. Like if we would call communion something else, I'd call it a victory meal, because it's like we take it and like we remember what he did. And so it's like there's like moments like that to where there's so much breakthrough and so much healing and growth that happened with, even amongst our team with this album. And I know the next album, there are going to be new stories and new breakthroughs and new growth for us. And so we get so much out of doing this that like, if no one listens to it, we already cried and like we already been laid out on the floor about it all. And so it's like we're completely surrendered to it now.
That was Josh Holiday from Elevation Rhythm. Make sure to check out their brand new album, Victory Lap. It's out now. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's One Has to Go. $3 billion. Right now, there are 3 billion unreached people with no access to the gospel. Among them, 150 to 200,000 die each day without knowing Jesus. If you could reach them faster, would you? If you could build reproducing churches right now, would you? If there were people with the language and cultural understanding to share the gospel, would you support them? If there's a way to reach the unreached that was guaranteed to work, would you make the investment? Right now, local national believers are already making disciples, but they lack the resources to plant more churches and train more church planners. This is the new wave of missions. This is how we reach the unreached as quickly and effectively as possible. It's called There and Now. Find out more at thereandnow.org. Okay, it's time for
One Has to Go.
One Has to Go. I'm going to give you 4 things. You tell me which one has to go. It's pretty simple. Here we go. Jesse, you're up first. Summer vacation destinations: beach, mountains, big city, or national park. One has to go.
Oh, one has to go?
Yeah.
Mountains, for sure.
Mountains?
Please tell me why. Please tell me why.
They're dangerous. You know, what are you doing up there?
I feel like that would be an appeal to
There are sharks at the beach. What's in the mountains?
The cliffs, boulders, bears.
Makes sense.
I could go on.
In the big city, there's murderers and cars going to hit you. There's danger everywhere is what I'm saying.
In mountains, I don't know. What are you doing up there? You're just kind of hanging out. There's
Get down.
And it's not like you're skiing. What are you doing up there? Like all the other stuff, give me the other ones. There's plenty to do. I'm on a mountain. It's like, oh, I'm kind of just hanging out.
I go every summer. I'm going in 2 weeks.
Yeah, what do you do up there? What do you do up there that you couldn't do in any of those locations?
It has
Look at mountains.
It's number one for Floridian. It's higher up, so it's cooler air. Number 2, there's topography and scenery. Again, for a Floridian, the state's flat. It's just a novelty of. And then there's the whole small town culture, and they have apples, and they have we go whitewater rafting. You know, like there's a lot of stuff to do. You can go fishing if you want, boating. It's fun.
Can't wait. You know where it has all of those things? Every other destination. It literally.
Just don't have the climate.
Yeah, I can buy apples at the grocery store down a couple blocks from the beach, so I don't have to go pick them and worry about stepping in a hole in a mountain. You know,
Stepping in a hole. You don't like going to mountains because of the holes?
A lot of holes up there. There's no one maintaining it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of holes. That's true. Okay.
Again, there's just lots of dangers that seem unnecessary, especially in the
Again,
summer.
I'm shocked that that's a deterrent for you.
He doesn't like holes, Emily. He doesn't like holes.
And it's
I mean, there's holes at the
exhausting. It's
beach.
exhausting getting around. Okay, if you're walking, you're either walking up or down hill, and that's no fun. Or you get car sick everywhere because you're doing those switchbacks.
The swervies, yeah.
It is not. It's not fun to get around up there. There's no fun part. The only fun part is ski lifts, and they're not even operational in the summer. So.
The light went on for me when you said the road sickness, because that's true. You are a little susceptible,
Very.
and it's a lot of windy roads.
A lot of turning, short turns. Tight
Yeah,
turns.
to me, those feel like roller coasters, so I like it even more. You know, there's an element of actual danger because you can go off the edge. It's great.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. All right, Marty, ultimate summer foods: watermelon, s'mores, grilled corn, or ice cream truck treats. One has to go.
I'm gonna get rid of corn.
Grilled corn.
I'm gonna get rid of grilled corn. I mean, it's great.
You're not
you know.
having the wrong grilled corn. Then
I've had it. I've had it. Trust me. I
Elote,
mean,
the Mexican street
yeah,
corn.
the Mexican. I've had it
Oh.
all. Here's my thing with corn. Right.
Mhm.
It doesn't break down in my stomach at all. Right.
Yeah.
That
We don't-
makes me feel like
I'll
weird.
give you
Like why?
that.
Like why
I'll
does
give
it
you
just
that,
pass through my stomach? Like why does corn do that? Like why can't I eat corn and it just like my stomach handles it? I don't know. So it always makes me feel like it's just like wasted nutrients.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
Emily, classic summer experiences: road trips with friends, summer camp nostalgia, summer camps, late night bonfires, or fireworks on the 4th. One has to go.
Oh, I'm getting rid of those fireworks.
Oh, whoa.
I feel
On
like
the 4th?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
sorry, America. Figure out something else. I've been on record many times. I hate fireworks. I think I've seen them.
You're doing them wrong. That's all.
You know, if
sorry,
we get
I don't
rid
want
of
to blow my
fireworks,
hand off.
if we get rid of fireworks, it's going to be like Saudi Arabia, and people are going to be shooting guns in the sky. That's the issue. It's just they don't have
Well,
fireworks; they just shoot
Okay,
in the
I
sky.
don't want that. I'm fine with sparklers. I'm good with a sparkler, but I guess I don't like the fireworks. It's also here's my thing: they go on for too long. I do not need a 35-minute light show.
Then just go to a small town. They can't afford the 35 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I lived in a small town that was about an hour long
Oh,
because that's
what
all you
about
have to
in
do
Disney
there
though?
is blow
Have
up.
you ever seen those? The fireworks are pretty. It's
I
like
did go
20
to the
minutes.
ones at Disney. That was fun, but it was also more of like, wow, I'm seeing the light show at Disney. I don't know.
All right, last round. Here we go. Jesse, childhood summer memories: slip and slides, chasing the ice cream truck, bike rides until dark, or running through sprinklers. One has to go.
Running through sprinklers is always overrated. It compared to all the rest, it really looks more fun than it is. Like one lap, and you're like, okay, I got it. I'm good. I got a little wet, and it's not as good as swimming. I'm done. You know, it's a good quick cool down.
But what if you don't have a pool available?
Well, again, it offers no more refreshment than just sticking your head under the garden hose. That's my thing. It's not that fun. You know, there's
good
no.
point.
I think you did it wrong.
Slip and slide, no. It just
You got.
It's-
Yeah,
Slip
that's
and slide was the one
definitely a
that
keeper.
should go. It should go.
Slip and slides,
slip and
you're
slide
going to
can
hit a
go.
rock. Somebody's going to put it on the sidewalk, not realizing that you're going to plop down
or
on it.
there's not going to be enough water, and it's going to hurt.
It's going to screech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Marty. One has to go. It's opening night of The Chosen. One has to go.
Which
The Mickey-
disciple has to go?
The Mickey Mouse Mai Tai,
Got it.
the Dick Tracy Daiquiri, the Martian Espresso Martini, or the Chalamet Chardonnay. One has to go.
Dang, that's a rough one right there.
I know. Those are all keepers.
Chalamet Chardonnay all day long. Yeah.
I love that.
no, that's to say.
No, he doesn't. Have you seen? Why is his look now like he's like a professional bowler? Why is this?
Yeah.
This is a new look.
I love it.
With this
I love
look.
it.
Like he's been sitting courtside at all the basketball games,
Showing
and
off his outfits.
looking literally like a professional bowler.
I think that's always been his aesthetic, like the aesthetic that everyone associates him with. That was him trying something else on. Like when you look at him, I mean, he like grew up in New York. Like you look at photos of him when he was younger, he was dressing like how he dresses now.
He dresses like rich New York. You know, that's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's Manhattan, New York. He's not like Brooklyn. He rocks stuff that's like it's really cool. But yeah, it's like
Is it
designer.
though?
I don't know.
Is it though, or are we just led to believe it is? You know,
Yeah.
like it's like it's like Bieber or whatever. It's like I get, you know, he has his finger on the pulse of the world of fashion. But if someone showed up to work wearing that, they would be made fun of the entire day. You just have
Ridiculed,
to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
All right, Marty, vacation personality types: the over planner, the beach bum, the Instagram tourist, or the go with the flow friend. One has to go.
It's over planner for me, and that would be my sister Carol Ann. I love her so much.
shots fired.
She's
Shots
the
First
best.
and middle name.
No, that's her first name. And my, I don't know why. Like even my son has 2 first names. I don't know why, but well, she's the type of person that when we used to go as a kid to Orlando, she would be leaving for the park at like 5 a.m.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'll meet you at noon.
They want to open the gates, and she wants to be the first one in there. Like
No,
that's
thank
the
you.
type of So when by the time I woke up, I remember being like, "Hey, where are you guys?" She's like, "We finished the park." I'm like, "It's 11. They did everything. No one was at the park, and I just don't want to wake up early. I want to
agree.
sleep in."
Yeah.
All right, last one, Emily. Reality dating shows. This is your love language. Love Island, Too Hot to Handle, Bachelor in Paradise, or Love is Blind. One has to go.
I have to have Love Island. Unfortunately, it is probably my most fatal flaw. So that has to stay.
How many of these shows exemplify biblical standards in dating and waiting till marriage and fidelity and honor?
Okay. I actually want to shout out my girl Bella on the new season of Love Island, which just premiered this week. She is a Christian, and when they were meeting the guys, this is going to sound a lot sleazier than I want it to be, but it is sleazy. There's a challenge where they have to kiss all these people, whatever, or kiss all the each other, whatever. And she told the guys, she was like, "You can only kiss me on the cheek. I'm not going to do that, right now, whatever." And she came on and she talked about how she was a Christian. Now, we'll see how long that standard lasts, but I have hope for my girl Bella. And she's probably the only one in the many, many seasons of Love Island I've ever watched that has ever said she was a Christian. So
Pretty cool.
if that answers your question. Anyways, I'm getting rid of Love is Blind. That show makes me so mad.
But isn't the whole premise of it that they are not supposed to base attraction on looks, but go deeper and find true connection regardless of physical appearance? So shouldn't that be something we celebrate?
We do. I am mad at the producers because they continually pick the worst men on earth because the women are great. Well, for the most part, the women are pretty great. And then the men, I can't get into too much of a rant because my heart rate will go up, but the men are just the worst. They are actual trash. And so
Got it.
once the producers work some things out with God, then maybe we can talk. But
All right, well, that one has to go. All right, that'll do it for.
One has to go.
Well, thanks again to Elevation Rhythm for joining us today. Make sure to check out their album Victory Lap, which is out now. Also, make sure to follow Relevant Podcast on IG. We are at Relevant Podcast. We're posting clips from the show as well as One Has to Go polls and all the good stuff. Also, make sure to follow the main account, Relevant Magazine, where we are covering the intersection of faith, life, culture, and everything in between. That's where we post all the latest stuff. But obviously, you should come over to relevantmags.com, get our newsletter for all the best content stuff we're not posting on IG as well. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you next Friday, I promise. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Make sure to check out our coverage at the intersection of faith, life, and culture every day at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, don't miss our latest digital issue. Issue 116 features Nate Bargatze, Connor Price, and a lot more. And don't forget Relevant Plus. It's the best way to experience our content, including ad-free reading, an ad-free version of this podcast, and more. You can get all the info and sign up at relevantmagazine.com.
A lot of holes up there.
Relevant Podcast Network.